Hey there, rant alert, so be warned. Let me tell you a story of my 40th birthday. Now, you've seen the review of my beautiful Fender Telecaster, but the story behind it is quite convoluted, and I wanted to separate it into a different video just to give you an idea of how important it is for guitar shops to actually sell their guitars properly. So we rewind to late 2017, and I'm starting to get itchy about getting a new guitar. And as I looked more, that lots of guitars cropped up, and I discovered things like Chapman guitars, Schecter, and all these sorts of things. So I thought I was going to start playing a few. And my wife said to me, actually, I'll give you some budget, go and buy a new guitar for your birthday. So I started to look around, did some research, and decided I was going to play a Telecaster Squire Classic Vibe. I was going to play an ML3 by Chapman. I was going to play a Rob Scallon by Chapman, his signature guitar. And I was going to try out a couple of PRSs, because I'd always wanted a PRS. And the SC editions are beautiful. So I went to and I picked up a few guitars. Now, straight off the bat, the Classic Vibe Squire Telecaster just didn't feel right. The neck was too glossy, my hand stuck to it, which didn't feel nice, whereas the Fender version had a satin neck, the Classic Vibe was glossy and I didn't like. So I discounted that one straight away. I had a play around on the ML3 and absolutely loved it, but again, if I was going to go for a Telecaster, I wanted a Telecaster. So I thought, well, I'll try the Rob Scallon, I'll try, there was a beautiful PRS Swampash body Custom 24 SE. So I picked up the Scallon, I picked up the PRS, took them into the demo room and had a go, and was just appalled by both. Not by the guitars. The guitars sounded fantastic. The problem was the setup. Both guitars felt like I was playing suspension bridges. I could get my hand under the action at around the 20th fret on both. The Scallon guitar, the actual volume controls were loose in the body. So as I turned the volume, the whole pot was turning the body. And the whole experience just left me cold. I just hated every second of playing both. So put them away. I went off. I actually emailed Chapman Guitars and said, your guitars are not being sold to their best here, because if this is the setup they're getting in shop, then you're not. I don't see how you can sell guitars to anyone but absolute beginners who have no idea what a guitar is supposed to feel like. And I get that guitar shops want to then sell you the setup, but just adjusting the action to the point where it's playable isn't so difficult. Intonation and other things, fine, do that in the setup. Although I think the shop should do that as well. Otherwise, how are they going to sell guitars to people, as I said, who know what they're looking for? Anyway, put off the whole idea. And then my wife said, no, give it another go, find a different shop. So I looked around and found Guitar in Epsom. And I went there, and that was the epiphany moment. As I walked through the door, there's a wall of Fenders, and this little beauty was sat looking at me. Well, not this little beauty, a very similar one to this little beauty, was sat looking at me. And I went straight over with my daughter and said, right, I'm going to play this one. I think this is what I want. Instantly, without trying it. I'd taken my headphone amp with me because I didn't want to have to wait around for a demo room. So I sat down, plugged myself in and played, and it played fantastically. It was set up properly, the strings were the right height, intonation was perfect, it was beautiful. I tried a few other guitars, I tried a few PRSs which were beautifully set up. I tried some, what else did I try? I tried a Strat or two, I tried some Gretsch guitars, but kept coming back to that one, and it just felt right. And that was it, I wanted it. Now, had the guitars in the other shop been set up that way, it's entirely possible I would now own a Chapman Rob Scallon or a PRS, because both of them sounded beautiful. And actually I played a very similar PRS at Guitar, and it was absolutely stunning, but it just wasn't as good as that. And funny enough, the guitar shop didn't have that, the Fender Noir. So yeah, they definitely lost a sale of £700 potentially, all because the guitar wasn't set up properly. Now, on the flip side of that, it then turned out you couldn't get the Fender Noir anyway, because by the time my wife came to buy it, it was out of stock everywhere. It was a 2017 limited edition, and she was trying to buy one in March. And if it wasn't for the amazing guys at Richtone in Sheffield, she would never have found me one. But that's a whole other story. Key here is guitar shops. Really, I know you have hundreds of guitars, but the couple of seconds it takes just to lower the action a fraction and to make sure controls are tight and everything works has got to be worth it when you could be missing out on sales because people pick the guitar up and think the guitar is rubbish when actually it's just the setup. And yes, there are people looking at me going, yeah, but you know this, you know the action's bad and you know how to change the action. Yes, but you buy with your heart. So you sit and play it and it plays like crap. You just go, no, next one, please. So there's my message to guitar shop owners. Please take the time to set your guitars up if you don't already, because you're not doing the customers any good. You're not doing the sellers any good if you can't sell the guitars because they play like rubbish when people pick them up. And yeah, just make it a better experience for people, please. Anyway, that's my rant over. I shall see you next time. Cheers.